Hi everyone, welcome back to Discover Interior Design, and I'm so glad you're here. In this video, we're going to be talking about the color green. So talking about some color theory, but also thinking about how we use it in interior design. So let's get started. So to talk about the color green, let's take a look at a color wheel. And a color wheel really is just this really nice tool that we can use to just remind us of relationships between colors. So kind of knowing that the colors are all arranged in a certain sequence so that we can see those relationships and just kind of be reminded of that. So when we look at a color wheel, we can see this is just a basic color wheel, meaning that it's just starting out with 6 basic colors. And we can see that green is on there, and it's next to yellow and next to blue. Well, it's there for a reason, next to yellow and next to blue, because green is made up of yellow and blue. And so using 2 of the primary colors, which are just the colors of blue, yellow, and red, that are the colors that we start with to create all of the other colors. So using 2 primary colors, yellow and blue, together, mixing them together, will create the color green. And so then what that means on a color wheel is that green is a secondary color. So it's created from 2 primary colors, so then it's automatically called a secondary color. And there are other secondary colors on the color wheel. Those include orange and purple because they are also created from combining 2 primary colors together. And another way we can look at the color wheel is through the lens of whether a color is considered to be kind of warm or cool. So whether that color has kind of a warmer look and feel to it or a cooler look and feel to it. So if a color has some yellow in it, usually that means that color can be more on the warmer side. But if it has more blue in it, it can be more on the cooler side. Well, green, has both yellow and blue in it, but lots of times it's considered to be kind of on the cooler side where it can lean more towards kind of that blue side of colors. But it always depends on how much blue or how much yellow and even what type of blue and what type of yellow is combined to create that green to decide whether it's going to be on the warmer or the cooler side. And then with any color, there are always these variations of greens. And I always kind of separate greens into either a warmer green or a cooler green. And I also think about saturation, how saturated a green is. Whether that green is very green, it has a lot of green, vibrant yellows and blues in there, and it creates like a very energetic look. Or is it less saturated, less intense? We could even say, is it kind of grayed down or kind of more neutral? That means it has maybe less color in there and other colors that are added to it to kind of gray it out and kind of tone it down a little bit. And then we can also talk about value. So value just has to do with the lightness and darkness of a color. So, a green can be, very light, but it also can be very dark. So depending on, the warmness and coolness of the color, and then also the other factor that plays into different types of greens and different types of variations has to do with what types of blues and greens and other colors maybe that are inside that green that create that green. So all of these different factors have to do with all of the different variations of greens that we see in our homes. So I really enjoy the color green because I always see it as bringing in some nature into our home. You know, bringing in green from the outside and inside into our homes, you know, provides a nice fresh look and sometimes even calming, or even sometimes even just kind of cozy, depending on what color of green we use. And I always think of it almost as a neutral. If we think about it outside, we see a lot of green outside. And so it's almost like a neutral color. It can be like kind of a cool color as a backdrop color, but it also can just kind of stand on its own and be the focal point in a room. Greens go well with a lot of different colors. You know, we can think of the neutral colors with white or black or gray, and even with earth tones such as tans and beiges and browns. And then greens are great with related colors. Green with yellow and blue is a great color combination. Or even green with the other secondary colors, such as oranges or purples, is a fun color combination. And then if we go back to the color wheel, we can see that there is a color on the opposite side of green, and that's red. And that's just called green's complementary color. Those are complementary colors, and they are colors that have no relationship with each other than they are opposite each other on the color wheel. But that creates a lot of contrast. If we ever want to bring in some contrast into a room where we do have some greens in the room, you know, using a complementary color, whether it's a very bright red or even just a toned down red like a pink, that's kind of an interesting combination and way to go to kind of add some contrast and variety to a room. So I'd love to find out from you if you enjoy using the color green in your home. You know, what type of green do you use and where do you use it? So share your design ideas and design suggestions in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.